When I used to work at the big recording studios in Toronto, we always had a mic locker filled with all types of microphones. Expensive condenser mics for vocals, cheaper dynamic mics for recording drums, nuanced ribbon mics for recording acoustic instruments, and everything in between. One studio I was at even had a $40,000 condenser mic that we only used on special occasions or when working with the top paying major label clientele at the time. Simply put, we had a mic for every season and situation packed away in that locker. But if you're a do-it-yourself musician like me, it's probably hard to imagine shelling out that kind of money on a microphone, especially with a limited budget. And one of the biggest questions I get from people is, which microphone should I get to record vocals? What's the best microphone you can get to not only cover all your bases, but also help you achieve a great vocal sound? In today's video, I'm going to answer that and explore one great option in the form of the Slate Digital Virtual Microphone System and their ML1 microphone that's a part of it. If you don't know what the virtual microphone system is, it's a hybrid system that utilizes an extremely transparent condenser microphone and a state-of-the-art digital processing suite that recreates the tone of classic microphones and preamps. This mic works in tandem with Slate Digital's virtual mix rack in your session, providing you with access to a variety of microphone emulations that you can apply to the microphone in real time. And while the ML1 already comes with 8 mic models, Slate just made it even better by releasing 3 more inspired by the legendary 87 mic we all know and love. There are 2 vintage models and 1 AI model included, so you get a few different versions of that sound from your favorite records. Simply put, one mic can give you a wide variety of sonic options by emulating over a dozen other coveted mics, and all for a fraction of the cost of actually buying them all, or even just one of them. So the question now becomes, is the Slate Digital ML1 the best microphone to buy? Let's take a deeper look at the microphone itself and how it sounds to confirm this. Now, full disclosure, Slate Digital did sponsor this video and they did send me the microphone and software to try out for free. After unboxing it and setting it up, I decided to call my artist friend Sari over to test it out. We recorded a bunch of vocals over a few tracks, testing out the capabilities of what this mic can do, and after he left, I decided to comb through all of our recordings and try out the different microphone emulations, including the new 87 style one that Slate just released. And if you're curious what this microphone sounds like without any processing, any emulations or anything, just naked straight up out of the box in a room that's actually not treated that well at all, check this out. I'll play it for you. This has nothing on it.
Million to one man who planned on it, bet on it, stake on the kid, so they placed my own head on it. Jumped out the plane with the us that gets me if X marked the spot. Pray that I land on it, rocking some sandals while walking in sandal. Life is an ocean, I go where I can go. Need a life jacket, the swimming is iffy, but I like a challenge. I swim where I can be. Got doors that are closed and got open again.
So that's completely naked. There's no processing. There hasn't been any adjustments, no clip gain, literally nothing. This is just the raw recording as it was. And you can already tell, you can obviously hear a little bit of flutter echo and stuff on the recording because of the room that we're in, but you can hear that it just sounds like a high quality microphone even in its bare bones state. Now obviously one of the advantages here is to actually use the software that comes with this mic to alter the sound and the frequency response to create a slightly different vocal texture at the same time. To do that, you could put an instance of the VMR on your recording channel like I have here. With the VMR enabled, go to the mics category and drag on the preset that you want. In this case, I'm using the classic 87 sound that Slate Digital just released. Now, to be clear, you could put this on before you record so you can hear exactly what the microphone emulation sounds like while the artist or yourself is performing it. Or you can record it clean, naked, just like I showed you a moment ago, and apply this after. You don't necessarily need to have it on first, but of course the benefit of having it on first is you get a preview of what it's going to sound like before you start mixing and doing all the other stuff afterwards. Now me, I prefer to have it on before so I can hear in real time what the emulation is doing and how it's enriching the sound. One advantage here is that this is a low latency system, even when you're using the VMR, even when you're applying the emulation in real time when you're recording with it. So there's no worrying about any delay between when you sing into the mic and when you actually hear it on the recording or hear it in headphones while you're performing. It shouldn't be throwing anybody off so long as you have your other settings inside of your DAW set correctly. Despite that, your audio should not be committing the sound of the microphone emulation, so you can always swap it out after if you decide you want to try out a different sound, which is what we're going to be doing in a moment. But for now, let's play that exact same clip I just played you with this 87 emulation on, and I'll actually put it in and out so you can hear the difference.
Million to one man who planned on it, bet on it, stake on the kid, so they placed my own head on it. Jumped out the plane with the us that gets me if X marked the spot. Pray that I land on it, rocking some sandals while walking in sandal. Life is an ocean, I go where I can go. Need Need a life jacket, the swimming is iffy, but I like a challenge. I swim where I can be. Got doors that are closed and got open again. Went for the books, keep on tracking them in.
So you can definitely hear that the sonic texture of the vocal changes. It's a little bit fuller, a little bit warmer, some more low-end information there. And if you really want, you can actually adjust the intensity of the module here. And what that's going to do is it's going to impart more of the characteristics and quirks of this specific microphone onto your vocal recording. So let's actually do that. I'll leave it at 100, play it, and increase. Let's see how it alters the sound.
Million to one man who planned on it, bet on it, stake on the kid, so they placed my own head on it. Jumped out the plane with the us that gets me if X marked the spot. Pray that I land on it, rocking some sandals while walking in sandal. Life is an ocean, I go where I can go. Need a life jacket, the swimming is iffy, but I like a challenge. I swim where I can be. Got doors that are closed and got open again. Went for the books, keep on tracking them in.
So this could obviously provide some interesting options, but I personally do prefer it closer to the 100% setting. I think 100% is a pretty good place to be. 150, we're starting to push it, getting a little bit too much of that character. I know I'm going to end up reaching for an EQ eventually, but I might end up carving a little bit more if I have a lot of this imparted onto it. But if you prefer that sound, then absolutely go crazy here. Now this is all good, but what I want to do is I actually want to flip through a couple of different mic presets outside of the 87 here, and we could just see what things sound like. And if you're new to the ML1, this will give you a good idea of what's included in this bundle. So I'm going to get rid of the 87 and let's add the classic tubes here. If I press on mics, it's going to show a whole list here, and I'm just going to let this play and pay attention as it plays through to see which mic I'm actually using. I'll include some text in the bottom corner of the screen here so you're aware the entire time, and just pay attention to how each mic sounds a little bit different from one another.
Million to one man who planned on it, bet on it, stake on the kid, so they placed my own head on it. Jumped out the plane with the us that gets me if X marked the spot. Pray that I land on it, rocking some sandals while walking in sandal. Life is an ocean, I go where I can go. Need a life jacket, the swimming is iffy, but I like a challenge. I swim where I can be. Got doors that are closed and got open again. Went for the books, keep on tracking them in. Support from the side, better stay on the side. Jealousy, envy, they pair up as friends. Cut a loose ends, scissor is quick. Hand cannot slip, leather, bicycle grip. Million to one man who planned on it, bet on it, stake on the kid, so they placed my own head on it. Jumped out the plane with the us that gets me if X marked the spot. Pray that I land on it.
So I know that was fairly quick, and everyone is going to have their preference, but I'm curious to hear from you guys. Which one did you prefer? Which microphone emulation did you prefer? Leave it in the comments down below. Now, me personally, I prefer the 800 style microphone emulation here. This is a Japanese mic style. You can hear how it sort of increases the low-end frequency content a little bit, makes it warmer and fuller sounding, but then it also adds some of that top-end crispiness and clarity that I like, much more so than just the naked mic on its own, right? When I add that flavor, that's the one that I gravitate towards the most. And I'm curious to hear which one you guys like as well based on this demo. Now, while I have spent more time focused on the microphone options here, let's not forget that this also comes with several preamps, specifically the FG73 and the FG76. The 73 is modeled after one of the most famous British solid-state preamps in the industry with a bold and warm sound, while the 76 is modeled after a famous vintage German preamp, which has a lot more character, thicker, more colorful, for example. So overall, this is a very flexible option. You can record and audition the mic emulations in a low latency environment while you're recording. You can adjust which mic and preamp emulation you want to afterwards if that's something you prefer to do. You can apply other processing like gates and de-essers and other plugins that are built into the VMR if you subscribe to Slate Digital's All Access Pass. And overall, the microphone does what it promises. It's got a very neutral, flat sound that you can then enhance with the software that it comes with and the software that Slate offers. So, what's my verdict? If you're in the market for a new microphone with a neutral, flat frequency response that will give you a ton of sonic options, then this is a great option for you. It's almost like one mic to rule them all because of how many options you get by having it. Now, I'm not throwing out or selling my other mics just yet, but I'm quite content with this, and I'm interested in continuing to use the ML1 on my upcoming projects. In fact, if you didn't notice, I'm not using my normal mic that I record with, but instead I'm using the ML1 in its place to record this video's audio. Pretty cool, right? Now, if you're interested in buying the ML1, you can get it from now until the end of the year for $499 USD, and that is $300 off of the base price. And as a bonus, anyone who buys the ML1 before the year's over will receive the Classic 87 expansion absolutely for free for a limited time. This is normally sold separately, so definitely take advantage of this before the year's over. Now, if you already own the ML1 and you want to get the 87 expansion, you can upgrade to that for $87. $97. That price is the lowest price you'll be able to get it for. Otherwise, it is going to be going up by the end of the year. So take advantage of that and the price of the microphone if you haven't checked it out yet. Hit the links in the description down below and you'll be able to check everything out yourself. I'm looking forward to helping you guys again next time, all right? Peace.
5,